Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. You cannot break a woman who listens to something greater than herself. You cannot confuse her, pull her off course, or keep her stuck because her direction does not come from the noise of the world. It comes from the quiet place where she hears a divine whisper. If you ever meet a woman like that, pause for a moment and watch her carefully. She does not move the way everyone else moves. She is not constantly reacting. She has already responded to something deeper. She is not wandering. She is being led. She may not be the loudest person in the room, but there is power in the way she carries herself. Because when a woman listens to God, she becomes difficult to shake. She does not need constant validation. She does not need applause. She does not need strangers on a screen to tell her that she matters. And if you want to understand what real strength looks like, stay with me. Because there is something powerful about a woman whose confidence comes from knowing she is guided by something greater than herself. By the time you reach the end of this message, you may understand why a woman who truly listens to God can become one of the strongest forces you will ever encounter. You will not see her trying desperately to compete with anyone. She is not fighting to be noticed. She is not constantly searching for approval or praise. You could walk past her and assume she is simply another woman living her life. But look again. There is something different about her, something quiet, something steady, something strong that is difficult to explain but easy to feel. The presence she carries is not arrogance, it is not ego, it is alignment. It is the calm confidence of a woman who knows she is not walking alone. She knows there is a higher direction over her life, and she does not need to announce it to everyone. She has already received confirmation in the quiet places where nobody else was present. While other people are busy trying to prove themselves to the world, she has been listening to a voice the world cannot hear. She has heard the call of purpose. She has recognized truth. And once you have experienced that kind of inner direction, the opinions of people begin to lose their power over you. You walk differently. You speak differently. You begin to carry yourself with a confidence that is not based on ego, but on conviction. It is not confidence built from trying to convince yourself that you are powerful. It is confidence that comes from knowing where you are being led, and that is what makes her different. A woman who listens to God does not simply move with confidence. She moves with conviction. She understands that every step does not need to be rushed. She understands that silence can have a purpose. She knows that waiting does not always mean something is being denied. Sometimes waiting means the timing is still being prepared. Think about that for a moment, because this is where many people misunderstand her. When the world becomes loud, she does not automatically panic. When plans fall apart, she does not immediately lose herself. When people turn against her, she does not feel the need to fight every battle. She pauses. She listens. She seeks direction. She is not controlled by everything happening around her because she is paying attention to what is happening within her. People may look at her and assume she is passive. They may think she is taking too long. They may mistake her patience for weakness or her silence for uncertainty. But they do not understand what is happening beneath the surface. She is listening. She is discerning. She is making sure the next step is the right one. She is learning to recognize the difference between pressure and purpose, between fear and wisdom, between noise and direction. And once you understand this about her, you will never look at her silence the same way again. She is not simply making moves because everyone else is moving. She is choosing her steps carefully. She does not speak just to fill the silence. Her words have intention. She does not attach herself to every person, every opportunity, every place, or every situation simply because it looks attractive from the outside. She asks whether it belongs in the path she has been given. That is why she can walk away from things that others would desperately hold on to. That is why she can say no without explaining herself for hours. That is why she can leave a room without needing everyone in it to understand her decision. Her peace is more valuable than proving a point. Her direction matters more than public approval. And when she enters a room, she does not have to demand attention. She does not need to make herself larger than everyone else. Her presence speaks before her words do. There is a calmness around her. There is a stillness in the way she listens. There is something grounded about her that makes people feel safe enough to breathe. You may notice that people begin speaking more honestly around her. Their tension starts to disappear. Their worries begin to settle. Sometimes they do not even understand why, but there is a reason. She is not carrying the same chaos she walked through. She has learned to carry peace instead, and that peace changes the atmosphere around her. So pay attention, because this is one of the clearest signs of a woman who has learned to listen beyond the noise. She does not need to control every situation. She does not need to know every answer before taking the next step. She trusts that direction will come when it is needed. She listens before she reacts. She prays before she panics. She waits before she forces. And she moves when the time is right. That kind of woman is rare. Not because she is perfect, but because she has learned that she does not have to be perfect to be guided. She does not pretend to know everything. She simply knows where to turn when she does not know. And that is a different kind of strength. The world may teach you to become louder, faster, more competitive, and more demanding, but a woman who listens to God discovers another way. She learns that power can be quiet, strength can be gentle, wisdom can wait. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop, become still, and listen. Because when she listens, she's not listening to fear. She's not listening to every opinion around her. She is not allowing social pressure to write the story of her life. She is listening for direction. She is listening for truth. She is listening for the next step. And once that direction becomes clear, she can move with a peace that confusion cannot steal. That is why you should never underestimate the quiet woman. You may not hear her coming, you may not see her trying to prove anything, but she knows something deeper than the noise. She knows who she is, she knows what she carries, and most importantly, she knows whose voice she is learning to follow. Heaven does not always speak through noise. Sometimes it speaks through stillness. Sometimes it speaks through conviction. Sometimes it speaks through a closed door, a delayed answer, or a sudden peace that tells you not to move yet. And when a woman learns to recognize those moments, she stops forcing what was never meant for her. She stops chasing what keeps running away. She stops begging people to understand what God has already made clear to her. She becomes still enough to hear and strong enough to obey. That is where her real power begins. Not in appearance, not in status, not in attention, not in being admired by everyone around her. Her strength comes from alignment. And when a woman is aligned with something greater than herself, the world may challenge her, but it cannot easily define her. People may misunderstand her, but they cannot decide her worth. Doors may close, but she does not assume her story is over. She understands that sometimes a closed door is protection, sometimes a delay is preparation, and sometimes losing something is the very thing that makes room for what she was meant to receive. So if you ever encounter a woman like this, do not mistake her calmness for weakness. Do not mistake her silence for fear. Do not mistake her patience for a lack of ambition. She may simply be listening, and when she finally moves, she may move with a certainty that surprises everyone who thought she was doing nothing. Remember this: the woman who listens to God does not need to chase the world to prove that she belongs in it. She walks with purpose. She speaks with intention. She waits with faith. She acts with courage. And she carries a peace that cannot be purchased, performed, or manufactured. If this message is speaking to something inside you, stay with it, because maybe the strength you have been searching for is not found in becoming louder. Maybe it is found in becoming quieter. Maybe your next breakthrough does not require you to fight harder. Maybe it requires you to listen more carefully. And when that woman listens, truly listens, she begins to understand that she was never meant to follow every voice. She was meant to recognize the one that leads her toward truth, purpose, peace, and the life she was created to live. Heaven speaks through her, not through unnecessary noise, but through wisdom. Not through performance, but through presence. Not through attention, but through power. And when she walks in that kind of alignment, she becomes unshakable. The world will always try to make her louder. It will try to distract her, pull her in different directions, and convince her that she has to respond to everything happening around her. But she remains grounded, not because she thinks she is better than anyone else, but because she understands that she cannot allow everything to control her emotions, her focus, or her peace. She knows the voice she has chosen to listen to is sacred. It is not chaotic. It does not rush her. It does not fill her with anxiety. It is calm. It is steady. It is certain. And when you have experienced that kind of direction, the opinions of the world begin to lose their power. People often search for clarity while surrounded by noise, but she discovers clarity in quiet places. While others are announcing their next move, she is preparing hers privately. She does not need to tell everyone what she is building. She does not need constant approval while she is becoming. And when she finally moves, there is purpose behind every step. Her actions are focused, deliberate, and effective. Because when heaven is guiding your direction, you do not have to spend your life running in circles. You begin to recognize where you are supposed to go, what you're supposed to leave behind, and what deserves your energy. And this is where her strength becomes visible. She is the kind of woman who can walk away from something that looks good because she knows it is not right for her. She can turn down attention, she can reject opportunities, she can step away from relationships that appear attractive but do not align with what she has been shown in prayer. That takes real strength. Not the kind of strength that demands attention, but the kind that can quietly say no. She does not beg, she does not chase, she does not compromise her deepest convictions just to keep something that was never meant to stay. She is not desperately chasing blessings because she trusts that what is truly meant for her will not require her to destroy her peace to receive it. Her silence is not weakness, it is strength under control. She has experienced moments that could have crushed her. She has carried pain that could have changed her completely. She has faced disappointment, rejection, betrayal, and seasons where she did not understand what was happening. But she listened, she remained, she learned, she grew. And now, when another storm arrives, she does not immediately panic. She prays. When someone betrays her, she does not spend all her energy trying to get revenge. She releases it. When someone walks away, she does not destroy herself trying to make them stay, because she is no longer living simply to win arguments, prove people wrong, or get the last word. She is trying to stay aligned with what she believes she has been called to do. And remember this, because it changes everything. Alignment is everything. That is where peace begins. That is where purpose becomes clear. That is where real strength starts. She understands this, so she protects what enters her life. She guards her ears. She guards her heart. She protects her space. She becomes careful about who gets permission to influence her thoughts and decisions. Not everyone deserves a voice in her life. Not everyone deserves access to her inner world. Because once you have learned to listen to heaven, you begin to understand that every voice does not deserve your attention. Some voices bring wisdom, others bring confusion. Some people speak from love, others speak from their own wounds, fears, jealousy, or insecurity. She has learned the difference, and sometimes her silence becomes her strongest answer. When people speak about her behind her back, she does not rush to respond. When they misunderstand her, she does not feel forced to explain every detail. When they doubt her, she does not immediately defend herself. Why? Because she knows what she has heard. She knows the direction she is following. She knows who she trusts. She does not need to prove something that has already been settled within her. So if you ever meet a woman like this, respect her. Pay attention to her. Learn from the way she carries herself. She is not simply going through life. She is trying to live with purpose. She is not powerful because she controls everyone around her. She is powerful because she has learned to control what she allows into her spirit. She is not simply wise because she knows many things. She is wise because she knows what deserves her attention. The world needs more women like this. Women who do not simply hear noise, but recognize truth. Women who are not pushed around by every trend, but remain anchored in what they believe. Women who do not speak just to be heard, but allow their lives to speak through their actions. This is the strength of a woman who listens to God. She does not need to raise her voice to prove her worth. She raises her standards. She raises her level of discipline. She raises the quality of what she allows around her. And by doing that, she begins to elevate the people and environments connected to her. But stay with me here, because there is another layer to this strength that many people miss. While the world is constantly shouting, pushing opinions, selling ideas, creating fear, and filling every quiet moment with another distraction, she chooses discernment instead of distraction. That is where much of her real power comes from. In a world where every voice wants your attention and every message is competing to become the loudest, she chooses to slow down and listen carefully. She filters what she hears. She questions what she receives. She does not automatically accept everything simply because everyone else believes it. She acts only on what agrees with the truth she has recognized deep within herself. Discernment is more than simply hearing something. It is knowing what deserves to be heard. It is not about how much information surrounds you. It is about knowing which information has value and which information is harmful. It is the ability to separate what is meaningful from what is useless, what is genuine from what is false, what deserves attention from what should simply be ignored. And the woman who listens to God develops this ability through experience, prayer, patience, and observation. She becomes sharper with time. She learns that not every voice deserves to enter her mind. Not every opinion deserves space in her heart. Not every situation deserves her emotional energy. Not every person deserves unlimited access to her life. So she learns to turn down the volume of the world's chaos. Social media, gossip, negative conversations, constant arguments, endless opinions, fear-driven messages, distractions that steal hours without giving anything meaningful back. She becomes selective. She does not allow every piece of noise to become part of her identity. She learns to protect her attention because she understands that attention is valuable. Her mind is valuable. Her peace is valuable. Her spiritual life is valuable. And when she learns to protect those things, she becomes harder to confuse and easier to guide. Think about that. A person who cannot control what enters their mind can easily be controlled by the world around them. But she has learned another way. She develops what feels like a spiritual antenna, constantly becoming more sensitive to what belongs in her life and what does not. She notices what brings peace and what repeatedly brings confusion. She notices what strengthens her and what drains her. She notices the difference between genuine opportunity and attractive distraction. This discernment keeps her focused. It keeps her grounded. It becomes a shield against confusion, emotional overload, and unnecessary pressure. While other people are being pulled in 10 different directions, she can remain steady because she knows what deserves her attention and what can be left behind. And this kind of discernment gives her something many people struggle to develop: the ability to say no without guilt. She can say no without creating a long explanation. She can step away without starting a war. She can refuse to participate without feeling responsible for everyone else's feelings. She refuses to be dragged into pointless arguments, unhealthy relationships, unnecessary drama, and battles that have nothing to do with her purpose. She has learned something powerful. Not every battle is hers to fight. Not every accusation requires an answer. Not every voice needs a response. Sometimes wisdom is knowing when to stay. Sometimes wisdom is knowing when to leave. Sometimes strength is knowing when silence is better than another explanation. This wisdom keeps her spirit lighter and her mind clearer. Instead of reacting instantly, she pauses. Instead of allowing fear to make the decision, she thinks. Instead of rushing because everyone else is rushing, she considers the direction carefully. Her choices come from a place of calm thought rather than panic, pressure, or desperation. And that difference changes the quality of her life. She is not perfect. She can still become tired. She can still have questions. She can still experience moments of uncertainty. But she does not let uncertainty become her master. She returns to prayer. She becomes quiet. She listens again. And this is where her discernment becomes even deeper. When she reaches a crossroads, she does not simply ask, "What does everyone else think I should do?" She asks, "What is right for me to do?" She does not build her future entirely around popularity or public opinion. She looks beyond the immediate moment. She seeks divine guidance. She listens for that still, quiet direction that can lead her even when the road ahead is not completely visible. Sometimes the answer is obvious. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes she has to wait. But she does not assume that waiting means nothing is happening. She understands that some answers become clear only after the noise has settled. And if you have ever wondered why some women seem so calm while everything around them is uncertain, this may be the reason. They have learned that they do not need to know the entire path before taking the next right step. They only need enough light for the step in front of them. That is faith. That is discernment. That is the quiet strength of a woman who has learned to listen before she moves. And once she learns that, the world can shout all it wants. She does not have to shout back. She can remain still. She can remain focused. She can remain guided because she knows that the loudest voice is not always the truest voice. Sometimes the most important direction comes quietly, and when she learns to recognize it, she becomes very difficult to lead away from her purpose. This quiet voice becomes her guide and her anchor. It tells her when to move forward, when to slow down, when to wait, and when it is finally time to walk away. Because she has learned to listen carefully, she understands that approval from the world is temporary and often unreliable. She does not build her identity around what other people think of her, because she knows real approval comes from being aligned with a purpose greater than herself. That understanding releases her from the pressure to fit in, impress people, or constantly prove her value. She can stand firmly in who she is, because she trusts that she is exactly where she needs to be, learning what she needs to learn, and doing what she was created to do. And this is where discernment teaches her another powerful lesson: patience. She understands that not every opportunity is the right opportunity. Not every open door is a blessing, and not every closed door is a loss. Some doors remain closed because they are protecting her from something she cannot see yet. She does not become desperate simply because something has not happened quickly. Her patience is not weakness. It is strength with control. It means she is willing to wait for what is truly right instead of grabbing whatever appears first. She would rather wait for something meaningful than settle for something convenient. She is not foolish or unaware. She is learning wisdom through experience. She looks back at her journey and recognizes the moments when discernment protected her from wrong decisions, unhealthy people, wasted hours, unnecessary stress, and energy that could never be recovered. Those lessons have become valuable to her. She does not throw them away, she carries them forward. Her wisdom is something she protects because she understands how expensive some lessons can be. But her discernment does not stop with her own life. She has become better at noticing what is happening beneath the surface of other people. She can recognize when someone's words do not match their actions. She can sense when kindness is only a mask for control, when charm hides selfish motives, or when promises sound beautiful but have no truth behind them. This does not make her suspicious of everyone. It makes her aware. She knows the difference between healthy caution and unnecessary fear. That awareness protects her from being easily manipulated, deceived, or pulled into situations that were never good for her. She becomes selective about the people she allows close. She chooses people who encourage growth, who respect her values, and who understand the direction she is trying to follow. She does not need hundreds of shallow connections to feel important. She would rather have a few relationships that are honest, deep, and meaningful. And here is something you should pay attention to. Her discernment is not only for protecting herself, it also becomes a gift she can use to help others. People naturally come to her for advice because they know she does not speak simply to hear herself talk. She listens first, she observes, then she responds with intention. When she speaks, there is thought behind her words. She does not fill the room with empty promises or unnecessary opinions. She tells the truth, even when the truth is uncomfortable. Her clarity can become a light for someone who has been trapped in confusion for too long. She helps people step away from distractions and remember what actually matters.